Hello and welcome to this week's video. Today we're going to be building stretcher bars and stretching out a canvas for a painting. So you can build this out of one piece of 2x4. It's 34 inches and we're going to split that down the middle twice. Okay, so we're all done with the fence and we're going to replace that with our miter sled. Okay, so on side A, the left side is what I call it, we're going to cut the sides of the frame, and then so that's going to be the shorter side in this instance. And then on side B, on the right side of this sled, we're going to cut the top and the bottom. I taped them together so they wouldn't move, so I could get those sides exactly the same, so I wouldn't have to try and measure and fiddle with it. So we're going to replace the fence and we're going to just rip down one blade width off the side of that. 2x4s have a radius on the corners, so we're going to make sure we keep that. So you're going to do that to all four of them, and then set your blade super low, put it at 30 or 40 degrees, and just bevel that inside corner. And this is what it looks like. Okay, now it's time for assembly. You've seen me do this before with my dragon and rabbit paintings, and if you haven't, you should go check those out. They're a lot of fun. But same thing, you just put a brad nail in both corners and that shores it up real good. And then I put a brace in the middle just because that's a really long distance for that board to support. So just a little bit of extra support there. Put a couple nails in it to hold it in. This is primed cotton, depending on what you have, changes things. Make sure you put the prime part down. You don't want to put the prime side of the canvas. Maybe you do, I don't know. Depends on your project. These are canvas pullers. You can get them online for super cheap. So we're going to start in the center. I always like to double tack my canvas. I always pull it really hard and end up ripping out those tables. I probably pull it too hard. That factory radius on the 2x4, that makes it easier to stretch that canvas around. If you have a sharp corner there, you have a risk of tearing the canvas if you pull it too tight. So start in the middle and just go back and forth. Do the top and the bottom, then do the sides, and then you're just going to keep switching back and forth and slowly work your way to the corners, pulling nice and tight. So you just work out from the center. I do about one puller width at a time. I don't really concern myself too much with keeping the grain of the canvas straight. I've seen that in a lot of tutorials that you have to check that to make sure you're getting even tension. I just pull it as hard as I can and get it as tight as I can. Because if I don't do that, it ends up not being tight enough. So I just crank on it until it stops moving and then I staple it down. So we're going to cut off the excess off these corners just so we don't have a lot of material to bunch up there. And I'm going to show you two different ways to fold it. Most people fold it this way, where the seam kind of goes straight up the corner, and then the other way is to do it at an angle so that you have a 45 seam going across. And that's the way I like to do it, just because it's a lot easier. Grab it, bundle it up, pull it nice and tight onto that corner, and drag it to the side that you want that to be on. But if you're framing this piece, it really doesn't matter. Nobody's going to see it. So just slap it on there and make sure it's tight. Through this whole process, you want to make sure that you're constantly pulling the canvas and stretching it. Don't just slap it down and staple it. You need to be adding tension to that corner. It's nice and tight and nice clean corners. Alright guys, we're back from the shop and look at that. Nice and thin, and listen to this. That's what you want. Nice solid drum sound from your canvas. So stay tuned next week to see me paint on that. See me paint on that? Put a painting on it? I don't know. Anyway, check in later. Ciao for now, guys. We'll see you next week.